I don't know what to do about my husband not respecting boundaries with a female. So, here we go. My husband doesn't respect my boundaries when it comes to a co-worker of his. He works mainly with females, and only treats the one any differently or better than anyone else at his job. I just need to vent, possibly get advice. I sometimes feel crazy or like I'm wrong for asking him to change certain aspects of his relationship with her. They're around the same age. Both married. So they've worked together for years, and I only just noticed an issue probably about a year ago at this point. I got pregnant 10 months ago, and my husband didn't want children. This spiraled into some very hurtful and horrible things to be said to me by him, and him ultimately telling me he fell out of love with me and hasn't been happy in the relationship for quite some time, and he's been lying to me about him being happy in the relationship. Those things aside, throughout my pregnancy, I felt very alone and contemplated getting a divorce many times just simply because of his treatment of me. Let alone how he put his county worker on a pedestal and seemingly liked everything that she posted or that was posted about her from their jobs page. He stopped reacting to anything I posted at all, and she added me on social media because I decided before I found out I was pregnant that I would try to become comfortable with their friendship and be friends with her. I found out these things from doing investigating and being present during certain conversations. 1. He helped her pick out a dress to wear to a wedding, and then she video messaged him while at said wedding stating, "This is her dream wedding. If I ask him his opinion about any article of clothing, I get either nothing from him, or he will say, well, I wouldn't wear that." 2. He bought her 2 Apple Watch bands that were designed specifically for her, that he paid for with his personal credit card so I would not see the transaction, and had the items shipped to his job, so I would not see the package. 3. They went to a convention together for their job, and at said convention, apparently, he got her mom's phone number and now he apparently communicates with her mother also. 4. He has had her on Life 360 for months. After I asked him a while ago if he would be willing to sign up with me so we can location share, he told me no. Then I found out from a notification on his phone's lock screen, that those 2 share location on the app. He didn't add me onto the app until 3 weeks later, after I had to hound him to add me. 5. She recently deleted and blocked me on social media, and when I asked him about it, he said it's because I told him I didn't want her at the hospital after I spent 3 days in labor and hadn't showered or slept after having our baby. 6. He has her mother on social media as well, and she has his sister on social media. This alone wouldn't be weird if he didn't tell me that they've only met a handful of times, but he also reacts to her mother's posts frequently as well, also about her. 7. We were outside of church one day when he recognized her from behind and called out to her. We had a short conversation, in which she pretended to not remember our niece's name, when she's met our niece a handful of times. But also, as I said, she follows his sister on social media where his sister obviously posts about her child, and she wants to go with his sister, his mom, and our niece, to Disney. Obviously she would know our niece's name. 8. They call and text each other every single day, sometimes about work, sometimes not. He has her name saved in his phone as just one letter. He says it's a joke between them. I don't know. All of this to say, when I tell him I'm uncomfortable with things between them, he tells me to get over it, to deal with it, to move past it. He swears nothing is happening. But I just can't help but feel like there might be. Why else would she feel so bitterly towards me enough to block me on social media? Why else hide the Apple Watch purchase? Why else pretend to not know our niece's name? And these are just some of the things I can think of off the top of my head. There has been more. I don't know what to do. He won't do couples therapy. Despite me asking him over and over again. I just feel like I'm being gaslit here. Additional info from OP. So I guess I should clarify. He knew I wanted children when we got married and before we got married. We've been together for 10 years. He told me he didn't want children 2 months before I ended up getting pregnant. When I found out I was pregnant, I gave him an out. I told him I will leave and get a divorce from him and he can relinquish all parental rights and I will have zero hard feelings. And he told me he didn't want a divorce, and he wanted me to get an abortion instead. I, for my own personal reasons, did not go through with said abortion. He now is a good dad to our child, but hasn't apologized for any of the horrible things he said to me during my pregnancy. OP deletes their original post and explains why. Also edited to add, in fear of this post also blowing up too much, I don't want to give away all of my cards, but steps have been taken by me to fix these issues. I'll give a better update later on if I happen to discuss this entire thing with my husband. I deleted my OG post about my husband and his county worker because it kinda blew up way more than I expected. I was solely looking for validation that how I was feeling wasn't just in my head and that I wasn't being unreasonable when I asked him to please slow things down with said woman. What I didn't expect was for TikTok to pick up my post and over 80,000 people see said post. I now have to hope that someone my husband knows, or my husband himself, doesn't end up seeing it somehow before I'm ready to confront him about things. I also got a message from Reddit this morning stating another Reddit user was concerned for me, I'm sure because I deleted the OG post. I promise I'm fine, it just got way bigger than I intended. Thanks everyone for the words of encouragement to take the right steps for my son and I, even if some of it was a little harsh in the validation. That's really all I was wanting, really. Knowing that I'm not crazy for feeling like something is going on is weirdly comforting. So thanks, Reddit people. Update. Hello all. I'm sure a lot of you may remember when I posted about my husband and his relationship with his coworker. I then deleted the post and the account because it got very big very quickly. TikTok even picked it up somehow. Here's the update. I found proof of the cheating. I now have my 10-month-old, and my son, my cats, and I left the house tonight before my husband got home, so he could not talk me into staying home and not leaving as he always does. I guess the update is that I left. I found the physical proof today. I don't have even a cent to my own name. I'm thankful for my friends who have graciously let us stay here for the night. My husband finally admitted to the affair over the phone when we spoke so he could speak to our son and tell him good night, etc. I am feeling lots of feelings, but the main one is that I have no clue where to go from here. With this sweet smart little boy, and my 2 cats, I don't know what happens after tonight. But, I left. It only took me almost a year to do so. By the way, I already told my therapist what happened. So yes, I'm in therapy to help me work through everything and I have been in therapy for a while due to the past issues we've had too. Thanks everyone. If you don't know about the original post, don't worry. The gist is I thought my husband had an inappropriate relationship with his county worker and he kept telling me they were nothing but friends. Cherry on top is she's pregnant and he tells me it isn't his, but how do I believe that after he lied to me about everything else? I'm tired, y'all. Wish me luck going forward. Relevant comments. Jim Mybe 1982. Does the app's husband know he is married to a cheater? Good luck, op. Do not let him strong-arm you into staying. OP. My husband says it is a one-sided affair on his end. From what I have seen, I do not see how it could be one-sided. Though, I still have not spoken to my husband in full detail about things yet. I am waiting for our baby to be asleep before we have any type of heavy conversation. When a commenter said OOP was wrong for sneaking away. I didn't sneak off. I very clearly communicated I found out and that I would be back today to speak about everything. I'm not bitter in the slightest. This has been just waiting to happen, and I have been preparing myself to try to leave for a while. I communicated very clearly that my leaving the home is not in any way permanent right now. I literally just found out about the cheating, and I just needed to clear my head. I am going back home today, moving all of my things into our spare room, and keeping everyone in the home until we can decide what happens next.